So the American Congressman Riley Moore has been raising concerns and is still raising concerns over what is happening in northern Nigeria and in the Middle Belt. And the question whether Nigeria is a failing state has been raised. As it stands confirmed, over 50 people are gone. And the question now has remained international. Riley Moore is calling it persecution and is even hinting at action. But then, let's
Dozens of
take a
people are
listen.
dead after an attack in Nigeria on Palm Sunday. This latest attack is now added to the list of numerous attacks on Nigerian Christians over the years during Holy Week. And it comes as there is a growing concern that Islamist militants are targeting Christians in the West African country. According to Open Doors, which is a global Christian charity, Nigeria is ranked the seventh worst country in the world for Christian persecution, accounting for about 72% of the total number of Christian killings worldwide last year. Congressman Riley Moore of West Virginia is a member of the House Appropriations Committee and has been warning about this escalating violence against Christians in Nigeria. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You've presented an official report to the White House. You've handed over solutions. Here's how we can end this Christian persecution. So walk us through what you think needs to be done.
Well, so this report that we presented to the White House was pursuant to the president asking myself and Chairman Tom Cole, the House Appropriations Committee, to investigate this Christian persecution and what I've been calling a genocide in Nigeria that's been going on. So we went to Nigeria. We went there. I saw it firsthand with my own eyes, the tragedy and horror that's unfolding there. So, as you just reported, unfortunately, we've had 40 individuals who were killed at a Palm Sunday service, which is just tragic. And then on top of that, you had another 13 Christians killed by Islamic radical militants at a Christian wedding and Palm Sunday. So we have a number of suggestions in here of how the Nigerian government can work with the United States government to address this. But as President Trump has been very clear on this, if they don't address this, we're going to address it for them. Now, we'd like to do that in cooperation and coordination, but if they don't do that, if they don't step up to the plate here, we're going to start to take the lead on this. Now, currently we have 200 military individuals from our armed forces there training and working with the Nigerian military to try to address their capability gaps that they have there. We have MQ-9 Reapers there currently as well. And as you saw, we did have a Tomahawk cruise missile strike just around Christmas in Nigeria to try to address ISIS and Boko Haram, which also operate in that country largely unfettered, which is a terrible, terrible situation. But look, Nigerian government has been trying to make some steps toward this, but they're not doing it fast enough. Things aren't happening quick enough. And these things keep happening. So something's got to give here.
Now, following the Palm Sunday killings, the New York Times put out an article that reads in part, Representative Riley Moore of West Virginia, one of several U.S. congressmen who have falsely claimed that there is a Christian genocide happening in Nigeria. Analysts say that the situation in the country is much more complex and that Nigerians of many faiths have been killed. Much of the violence, they say, is fueled by criminals rather than being religious or ethnic tensions. How do you react to that?
Well, I mean, that's just a false claim on its face, right? But we're here talking about, you and I, a Palm Service Sunday being attacked by Islamic radicals. We're talking about a Christian wedding being attacked by Islamic radicals. When I was in Nigeria, I met with people who Christians who are living in IDP camps. IDP camps. So they're in refugee camps where Islamic radicals just roll through there and murder people who are living in refugee camps. So I'm not really sure how much more complex it is than that, than Islamic radical Muslims are running wild in this country. And what they'll argue is about farmers and herders and things like that. Sure, that's part of it. Are there non-Christians are being killed in Nigeria? Of course there are. I mean, there's terrorist organizations there. Yes, of course. But there is a systemic effort by Islamic radicals to eliminate Christian populations within Nigeria.
All right. We appreciate you.
So we've heard it
time
from
to
the
join us this
Congressman
morning.
Riley
Thank you,
Moore.
Congressman
And
Riley
what
Moore.
most of us might not know is that the US troops were in Nigeria from early this year. And the question that will naturally come to our mind is, so if we have US troops in Nigeria, why is Riley Moore still blaming Nigeria for not taking action? So let's be clear. The role of the US in Nigeria right now is not to combat. Their role is to provide intelligence, support, They're supposed to help improve surveillance. So Nigeria is still in charge of its own security. The US is just supporting, they are not leading. And that brings us to another question. So if the US is providing support already, and then the killings are still happening, then the concern is no longer about presence, it's about response. So is Nigeria acting too slow? Or something deeper? Is Nigeria failing? It is a truth at a time. Take care and have a nice day.